What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Hannahcast YouTube channel, and today we're going to be talking about the winners for the Writers Guild of America Awards, the American Society of Cinematographers, and the Eddies, which is basically, the award shows for film editors. We're going to be talking about the Writers Guild of America Awards first, and we're going to start off with original screenplay, where Everything Everywhere All at Once has won. It's beaten The Fabelmans, The Menu, Nope, and Tar. This is now a dead lock. Like, there's no way Everything Everywhere All at Once can't win Best Picture at the Oscars now. It has the SAG Ensemble, it has Directors Guild, it has Producers Guild, it has Writers Guild now. There are 4 other films that swept this hard. That is American Beauty, No Country for Old Men, Slumdog Millionaire, and Argo. And guess what? All of those films ended up winning Best Picture at the Oscars. So at this point, there's no contest. Goodbye Fabelmans, goodbye Top Gun Maverick, and we'll get to Top Gun Maverick here in a second, but like, there's no way Everything Everywhere All at Once can lose now. It's done it all. It's doing so incredibly well at the guilds, and keep in mind, in the Producers Guild of America, that is a preferential ballot like how they choose Best Picture at the Oscars, and even it survived that. So like, it's done. The Best Picture race is finished. It's going to go to Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now, let's go on to Adapted Screenplay, where the winner for Adapted Screenplay was Women Talking, and it beat out Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Glass Onion: A Knives Out Mystery, She Said, Top Gun Maverick. Now the question is, does Women Talking prevail at the Oscars for Adapted Screenplay? And it very well could, although keep in mind, at the BAFTAs, Women Talking wasn't even nominated, and instead, the award went to All Quiet on the Western Front, of which it wasn't eligible for the Writers Guild for. Now, that doesn't mean, All Quiet on the Western Front can't still win the Oscar. In fact, that's, like I said, that's really the main threat that Women Talking has here. For example, The Father won Adapted Screenplay at the BAFTAs, but yet it wasn't eligible for Writers Guild, mainly because in order to be eligible for the Writers Guild of America Awards, the writers need to be in the Writers Guild of America. Women Talking winning at Writers Guild definitely helps. It definitely helps. And as I've said before many times, in the modern era of the expanded Best Picture list, you cannot win any of the screenplay categories, adapted or original, without being nominated for Best Picture. So Glass Onion's never gonna win this. Living, which I did just see just now, by the way, and it's phenomenal. Living is not nominated for Best Picture, so that's never gonna win. And I don't think it's gonna be Top Gun either, because if Top Gun were to have any shot, it would be here in the Writers Guild of America, but it couldn't even win here. So it is a 2-horse race between All Quiet on the Western Front and Women Talking. Which one wins? I'm not sure. Now, I will say, going back to original screenplay, a lot of people are still thinking that Banshees of Inisherin takes original screenplay, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Everything Everywhere All at Once is a juggernaut. It's even won the Costume Designers Guild Award for fantasy film, beating Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which everyone thought was going to be the frontrunner to win the Oscar. It's like, it just keeps dominating these guild awards. And like, do you really not think it's gonna win a ton of Oscars as well? And again, we'll get into more of those Oscars here in a bit, but like, I just don't see a world where Everything Everywhere All at Once loses original screenplay to Banshees of Inisherin. Now granted, I would choose Banshees of Inisherin as the winner for original screenplay, but Everything Everywhere All at Once has just too much momentum to lose. Especially now that it's winning, supporting actor. I'm thinking it's gonna win lead actress now. It's winning Best Director, and it's winning Best Picture, so why wouldn't it win Original Screenplay? Now we get to the American Society of Cinematographers Awards, which is the most recent one that was announced, and the winner is Elvis. And Elvis beat out Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths, The Batman, Empire of Light, and Top Gun Maverick. I remember, like, when the Oscar nominations came in, and Top Gun Maverick didn't even get nominated at the Oscars, I was like, how the hell did that happen? Because, like, we all assumed it was gonna win. I mean, and hell, it got nominated for the Cinematographers Awards here, and it got nominated at BAFTA, and it won the Critics' Choice, which granted, Critics' Choice may or may not be useful in this situation, but still, it's worth looking at. And yet, Top Gun Maverick didn't get nominated for the Oscar. So we were like, well, what could possibly win now? And in the BAFTAs, it ended up going to All Quiet on the Western Front, which became everyone's frontrunner. But seeing as how All Quiet wasn't nominated here in the American Society of Cinematographers Awards, we were now wondering who's going to win this. And I correctly predicted that it would be Elvis. And I've been saying this entire time, for some reason, like early on in award season, no one was predicting Elvis to get a cinematography nomination. I'm like, what kind of drugs are you on? Because Elvis has stunning cinematography and it just breathes so much life into that film. I'd still probably say my pick for cinematography would have been Top Gun Maverick, but again, it's not even nominated at the Oscars. But seeing as how Elvis did, I was like, it's probably going to win this. But once again, like adapted screenplay, we have a two-horse race. Is the winner for Best Cinematography going to be All Quiet on the Western Front or Elvis? I want to say maybe it's going to be All Quiet on the Western Front, but there is also that thing you have to keep in mind that All Quiet, like, swept the BAFTAs. Like, it won more BAFTAs, I believe to my knowledge, than any other film in BAFTA history. And in all honesty, that statistic could either help All Quiet or hurt it, because what that tells us is that the BAFTAs loved the, All Quiet on the Western Front way more than the Oscars did. I mean, the Oscars loved All Quiet on the Western Front quite a bit, but they didn't love it that much like the BAFTAs did. And another little statistic, seeing as how Mandy Walker was the cinematographer of Elvis, that would mean that if she were to win the Oscar, she would become the first woman to ever win Best Cinematography at the Oscars. So there's that narrative going for it. And it wouldn't be an undeserved win either, because again, like I said, Elvis looked incredible. So it really is tough. I will be giving my Oscar predictions pretty soon, actually, sometime this week. Stay tuned for that. But now we move on to the American Cinema Editors Awards, also known as the Eddies. And for feature film drama, the winner is Top Gun Maverick. And it beat All Quiet on the Western Front, Elvis, Tar, and The Woman King. I was thinking it was gonna be between Elvis and Top Gun Maverick. I would probably give it to Elvis here because of how stylized and crazy the editing was, but it did end up going to Top Gun Maverick. And this does make it a bit of a two-horse race, because for feature film comedy theatrical, Everything Everywhere All at Once beat The Banshees of Inisherin, Glass Onion: A Knives Out Mystery, The Menu, and Triangle of Sadness. That means we have Top Gun Maverick and Everything Everywhere All at Once, two of the big, frontrunners for that film editing Oscar. So who's gonna win? I think it's gonna be Everything Everywhere All at Once. Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's now won the Eddie, it's now won Critics' Choice, and it won BAFTA. Like, Everything Everywhere All at Once performed very badly at the BAFTAs this year, except for editing, which for all intents and purposes, we all thought was going to go to either Top Gun Maverick or All Quiet on the Western Front. When you're looking at how much the BAFTAs loved All Quiet on the Western Front and how little of a shit they gave about Everything Everywhere All at Once, it was actually surprising to see that even in the BAFTAs, Everything Everywhere All at Once won. So if it can win film editing at the BAFTAs, I think it's got the Oscar in the bag. And that once again goes into how much of a juggernaut Everything Everywhere All at Once is. Like, well, for one, there's no way it's not winning Best Picture. It's got that clean. It's gonna win Best Director. It's gonna win Original Screenplay. I'm thinking Michelle Yeoh takes Lead Actress. Ke Huy Quan's obviously winning Best Supporting Actor, and now we're looking at an editing win here. That's 6 Oscar wins. Like, it's absolutely nuts. And now with the Costume Designers Guild Awards, which, you know what, let's talk about those a little bit. Because for excellence in contemporary film, Glass Onion: A Knives Out Mystery ended up beating Nope, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, and Women Talking. Now, granted, this isn't really useful for predicting the Oscar win for costume design, but it is worth pointing out just, because. And I will say, out of these nominees, I would have probably voted for Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery as well. But now let's talk about excellence in period film, because that award went to Elvis, and it beat Babylon, Don't Worry Darling, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, and The Woman King. It's not a surprise. I figured Elvis would probably win here. At the very least, I expected Elvis to win here after winning the BAFTA for costume design. But then, for excellence in sci-fi fantasy film, Everything Everywhere All at Once somehow beat the likes of Avatar: The Way of Water, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which, like I said earlier in this video, was expected to win the Oscar. It also beat Hocus Pocus 2 and Thor: Love and Thunder. Which again, Avatar, Hocus Pocus, and Thor, alright, sure. Those weren't nominated for the Oscar for costume design. Hell, Hocus Pocus 2 isn't even eligible considering it's a TV movie, which makes me confused as to why it's in the Costume Designers Guild Awards. But the fact that Everything Everywhere All at Once beat Black Panther. So now, once again, I'm wondering, is this actually a two-horse race between Elvis and Everything Everywhere All at Once? I have to assume maybe Elvis takes the Oscar, but I don't know. Again, like I said, Everything Everywhere All at Once has just been dominating these guilds. So maybe it does take costume design? Once again, I'll have to sit on that because it's a little bit hard to figure out. And like I said, a lot of these awards are coming in just now. I mean, not the Costume Designers Guild. That was announced some days ago. But now the question goes to you. What do you think of the Writers Guild of America award winners? What do you think of the American Society of Cinematographers awards winner? And what do you think of the winners for the American Cinema Editors Awards? And while you're at it, let's talk about the Costume Designers Guild Awards as well in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. Hit that like button because it helps the algorithm, and hit that bell icon so you can be notified of future videos and live streams. And if you can, I'd like you to support me on Ko-fi.com/ChristianHannah. I'd like to thank my Ko-fi supporters, Fudd and Rooney Coaster. And if you want to see more, click this.